What's going on, Cowboys fans? Hey. Got a lot to get to today. Combine stuff, winners, losers. I got a 4-round mocker. Hope you guys enjoy it. I think it's cool. Went a couple different ways with it post combine. And we'll talk. But as you guys know, life happens. I'm gonna make this announcement more or less. Have my baby shower this weekend. Foots will be a dad. I got Pampers all over the room. Got a little, what's that, bassinet over there. So I'm crossing over. Been working with kids for a while. I kind of kept it under wraps, but I'm excited nonetheless. And I'll still be able to talk Cowboys. You guys know, just be about balancing my time. But very excited, to say the least. And I also want to shout out Joe Rod. His coverage, Joe Rod and Voch Lombardi, their coverage throughout this draft process, this pre-draft process with the Combine was really good. I'm catching up on stuff from those guys. And if you're in tune with the Voch, you know, he's breaking down content, prospects left and right. You know, we go blow for blow when it comes to content and prospects and talking these guys up and talking about what they do good, what they don't. And then you talk about a Joe Rod. When it comes to that Cowboys news, he's so thorough with who Cowboys fans meet with, and you know, the whole nine. It's just good to have buddies in the community that, you know, care about getting content out to you guys, and that you can even go to as a friend and look at their stuff. So that's really, really cool. Now let's transition into some winners, okay? And it's important to know what the Combine is for, okay? Film trumps all. I can't say that enough. Like, there's nothing anybody can do that will make them a better prospect than, let's say, a Chase Young. Even though I just had an hour conversation with a buddy of mine, obviously, who I've shouted out on this channel, Rasheed Walker, who plays at Penn State right now. You guys can look him up. And I'm actually taking the team to go to Penn State, my youth team that I coach, just because I want them to see, you know, what youth football and working hard and being a football player can get you. It can get you to a happy valley. But, you know, he was telling me all about Uter Gross-Matos and just the type of player that he is. And so the Combine, you see how smooth he looks in space. That was huge. And you see some of these guys run, and you know, that's where you want to see. You know, you want to see Justin Herbert. He won. You look at Jalen Hurts. He really won this weekend. Just the way he threw the ball. You know, then you got a Jake Fromm who he looks kind of stiff. And then you get to the interview process where, you know, you're asking a C.J. Henderson, who, by the way, worked out really, really well. But then you ask him about tackling, you're kind of like, oh, okay. Well, are you a football player? Because you hear Jeff Okudah say, oh, I tackle. And he's, you know, by far the most complete corner that I've evaluated in a long time. There's even a question. For me, I probably would draft Okudah over Chase Young, just because that's how much I value that cornerback position. Like, people really forget how important it is to have bookend corners. And even with this team, with the Cowboys losing to Byron Jones, it's one of those things, like, you don't worry about it when they're doing good because you kind of forget about that side of the field until you need them. Okay, so you need decent cornerback play, especially when you're a team that's not far away. And when your team, like, let's be honest, the Cowboys, we look at this team and say to ourselves, we think that we have the pieces to be, you know, in the hunt. Okay, change the head coach, get some fresh blood in here, fresh faces, and, you know, this draft is so important. So anyway, you know, thinking about CeeDee Lamb, ran well. You know, the 40 time, I'm not really worried about. I'm worried about how smooth they look. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, and these guys they probably won't, you know, mean much to the Cowboys, but, you know, you still talk about it, okay? You still talk about, you know, a Jeremy Chin from Southern Illinois. Now I got to go back and do his film because the 40 time looked good. You know, just the way that he jumped. I think he jumped 41 inches. Okay, so now I got to go look at him. Obviously, C.J. Henderson. These are just some names that I wrote down. I like the way A.J. Terrell worked out. Now, obviously, Jamar Chase cooked him in that championship game. But listen, the Clemson corner looked good. Okay, and and he could be in consideration at 17. Obviously, the Cowboys, the cornerback position is now at the top of the list, right? And then you have, people like a Derrick Brown who didn't run the best, but okay, do you go to a Derrick Brown's film and say, I'm good? I don't need Derrick Brown to look super, super twitchy. And he didn't. His workout could have been better, but I don't need him to look great with shorts on. I need him to be the player that he is, and that's a nasty player in the middle, all over that defensive line because he can actually rush off the edge. He's done, that Auburn defensive line was anchored by him and Marlon Davis. And so, and even like A.J. Epinesa, numbers weren't great, didn't look good in space because that's not his game. So you got to kind of know, what you're looking for. Even, I'll be honest with you, this Brandon Ayuk, Arizona State receiver Brandon Ayuk didn't run the fastest 40. I don't care. 4.50 is good enough for me because he plays football the right way. Everybody's calling Laviska Shenault, not CeeDee Lamb. Everybody's calling CeeDee Lamb. What's my boy's name? And San Francisco, Deebo Samuel. Brain fart, guys. So many players that you're evaluating. It's like, Anyway, everybody's calling CeeDee Lamb and Laviska Shenault Deebo. No. It's this Brandon Ayuk. I mean, he is special. He can go run after the catch, the wiggle, the cut ability, the ability to plant your foot and get north, and the finish is really, really good in the way he's put together. So that's just a little bit. And then my guy Brycen Hopkins. Dog, another example of why you got to be careful when it comes to, and I know we're 7 minutes in and I haven't even given you guys my mock. But listen, this is why I said this show is loaded because I have so many thoughts about this combine because let's talk about Alberto for a second. Ran the 4.49. He doesn't play that on film, and he was one of the first tight ends that I evaluated. But as I get to this group, this is a really good tight end group. You got Hunter Bryant, FAU. You got some of these tight ends are just flat out great. Harrison Bryant. Thaddeus Moss, who didn't work out. But then you have guys like Alberto who has the injury history, but his twist just isn't there. But my guy, Brycen Hopkins, goes out there, Purdue tight end, and he has been my guy from the start. Now Matt Miller jumps him up to the second round in the Cowboys mock draft. I'm like, you son of a gun. I've been on this guy. This Brycen Hopkins is smooth, y'all. He does everything right. The drill work, the hands, he's tough. I like him as a blocker. He'll do just enough. He's a football player, man. And if Dallas could draft him, it helps out a Dak so much because he's just a reliable set of hands. So anyway, you gotta be careful because when you look at an Alberto, he doesn't play 4.9. Doesn't kind of slow in and out of breaks, and he's not all the way violent all the time. So just got to be careful. He's kind of a lumbering player. Anyway, here we go. Guys, I'm 9 minutes in. 8 minutes in, I ain't even got to my mocker. So you guys will see the picks on the screen. With the first pick, I went C.J. Henderson, and our second-round pick. I had to go Brycen Hopkins because he is getting pushed up, and I'm praying that he can kind of slip under the radar with players going this, that, and everywhere. So I went with him in the second round. You guys are like tight end in the second. Yeah, I got wiped out of safety, and I valued C.J. Henderson higher than the safeties on the board just because without a corner, I like Anthony Brown, but I just don't know how much I like him on the outside. And I like Jordan Lewis, but I don't know how much I like him on the outside. I think that C.J. Henderson is the closest player to a plug-and-play. He's played good against Jamar Chase. Jamar got him a little bit, but then he's able to fight back, bounce back, play good ball. SEC player, so he's playing against top-notch speed. So I had to go with him at 17. And in the third round, I went to Jordan Elliott. Now, this would be a prayer because he's that good of a player. Joe Rod's been high on him for a while. But if you can get somebody like that in the middle with some position flex, I think you would be in good shape. And then this might be a new one, but I went Collin Johnson from Texas. I think that him and Sam Ehlinger had a really good connection. He's a bigger body receiver. And we know now that it's probably going to be Amari Cooper over Byron Jones. Cool. However, when when Amari Cooper goes out, you need another true 2. Okay, so this is a guy that you could groom because you would probably use Michael Gallup as your 1, or he would be your X. And so this is a guy that if there's any injury issues, anything like that, he could also be a big slot. He's really, really shifty for his size. He catches everything. If you go back and watch that LSU-Texas game, you'll see what I mean. Collin Johnson, he really jumps off the screen. Him and Derek Stingley had a nice battle, I believe. That's who was guarding him. I just know he jumps off the screen, and he's good value in the 4th round for a receiver for me. So 2 defense, 2 offense, kind of wanted to mix things up a little bit. I know everybody has this peg for a safety, but hey, corner trumps that if we're going to lose, pretty much a Pro Bowl player or a higher end player in a Byron Jones. So kind of want to do some different things with this mocker. I gave you guys my combine winners. You guys let me know who won the combine for you. Realistically, that 2nd to 3rd, 4th round is a sweet spot of this draft. It's a bunch of players clumped. Okay. Gladney, Ayuk. I've seen drafts where Laviska Shenault falls to the 2nd round. There's going to be, you're going to look up on day 2 like, wow, he's still here. Wow. You know what I'm saying? T. Higgins. It's very possible T. Higgins falls to the mid-2nd. Just because you have guys like a Justin Jefferson who now is for sure a day 1 lock. You have guys like, hell, somebody might get cute. The Patriots might take Albert O just because they like that big body, and you know how Bill Belichick feels about tight ends. So you never know. These tackles, more and more tackles are coming out of the woodwork. If you need a tackle in this draft, hello, this is your draft. I don't know where this tackle class got really deep. So anyway, you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Foots the King. Y'all show me some love because I'm going to be a dad. Ayy.